Yo, what's good, world? Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy Gio, back with another one, man. This one right here, man, it's about your boy Diddy, man. This update about everything he got going on is crazy, man. It's like on a whole nother world, man. Crazy, like, from the 120 people coming up and like 30 of them minors, and the new judge, his bond getting denied, 200 million to the tunnels they talking about, man. Just now they talking about the tapes. They saying they selling the tapes, man. They gonna be selling these tapes that they got going out. They say Diddy allegedly was selling them on the black market for 500 million for each tape. So if you can imagine how many he got since he been recording and what he would make on the black market, man, that's a killer. 500 million a pop. That's unbelievable there, man. Like, that's killer paper. Also, they was talking about how your boy Bow Wow, man, he was 6 years old and he got taken out of his house and he started rocking with, Diddy and Jermaine Dupri, man, and just that situation on that video was kind of crazy, man, and y'all gotta check that one out, man. They were talking about also, his conditions and things and such. It don't look like it's gonna get any better. He definitely need more security, tighten up, I would say, just because of who he is and people that may be after him. But this is something that you need to check out, man. Gene Deal was talking about a whole bunch of things on this video, and a few people mentioned some stuff, man. Y'all gotta check this out. Hit the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation, man. Appreciate the support and love as always, man. Run that subscribe button up, man. Subscribe, man. Let's get it liked up, man. Let's get it. Let's run it up, man. And let's chat about this, man. Till then, I'm out, man.
Y'all know, like, the industry, everybody's taking the longest vacations now. It's like they're just waiting, like, God damn it, I'll be back when this shit is over. But that's their way of kind of getting out of having to say anything. I don't know if that's what it is, or perhaps these niggas are in bricks because they were involved in the fucking parties. When Diddy said, yo, why you don't want to party with me, Fab? And you said, I do party with you. Did he? And he said, nah, man, I'm talking about party. What the fuck did that mean? If you address it, some niggas are gonna say you look more guilty. If you don't address it, you definitely look guilty. If you break down anything that happened, you might hurt yourself later in court. If you stay silent, you look like you're hiding. I don't know, nigga. But I do think a simple, yo, them bitches are lying. Like, that tweet alone, I don't care how much I'm paying a lawyer. I reserve the right to get that off.
The FBI found compromising videos on Will Smith's computer. The renowned Hollywood actor, who is being investigated by the police for his participation in rapper Diddy's parties, had his home searched by FBI agents following an anonymous tip about suspicious activities occurring there. The agents arrived at the scene to investigate what was happening at the residence. Upon arriving, the agents were greeted by the property's security guard, who was visibly tense about the police's visit. He tried to divert the officers' attention, claiming that no one was home at the time and that there was nothing to hide. However, the agents decided to search the house anyway. When they entered one of the guest rooms, something caught their attention. The agents noticed that there was an old wardrobe in the room, which had a false wooden back. When they pushed it, it opened to reveal a hidden passage to a secret room. Without hesitation, the officers followed the passage, while the residence's security guard desperately tried to stop them. As they advanced through the room, they found sexual objects along the way, raising concerns about what might have taken place there. The environment grew increasingly eerie, suggesting that something big was about to be uncovered. Upon reaching a corner of that room, the agents found something that left them completely shocked. They discovered a computer filled with compromising videos. Follow the page and comment, "Party Videos," and I'll send you the link to the videos.
Ice-T, you looking real fucked up right now. G, I've never come for you. Ice-T, not ever. But if you are a hip-hop spy, if you, rather than going to the police, did not report any of these crimes and instead used them as source material for a television show on a racist network, that would make you probably one of the biggest Uncle Toms ever. hip-hop red rums only get solved on Law and Order, but not in real life? See, if we're gonna get rid of these problems, we need to get rid of all of them. How do hip-hop red rums get solved on Law and Order SVU, but not in real life? This whole country is fucked up, starting with television. Maybe it's time for the feds to start talking to Ice-T. Maybe it's time for y'all to waltz on over there. You right down there in Southern District, somebody go tap Damien on the shoulder and tell him that I believe, that Jaguar Wright believes that Ice-T would make a perfect material witness for all of these hip-hop crimes that he's been using to get rich off of on NBC.
Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel is being sued for alleged sexual battery by a former assistant. Asa Jonasson filing the lawsuit in LA County Superior Court today.
For Vin Diesel, this is a nightmare scenario. The beloved Fast and Furious star has always played characters that fans looked up to, heroes who fought for justice, who lived by a code of honor. His public image is all about loyalty, family, and doing the right thing. To be connected to a scandal like this, where allegations of exploitation and manipulation are front and center, is the polar opposite of what Diesel stands for on screen. But the whispers in Hollywood are growing louder, and more insiders are starting to believe that the rumors may have a grain of truth to them. So, what exactly has Diesel worried? Sources close to the actor suggest that it's not just about being named as an attendee at these events. It's the potential release of footage from the parties. Federal authorities seized electronic devices from Diddy's properties during the raids, and they reportedly contain hours of video footage documenting what went on at these parties. The contents of these videos are still under wraps, but speculation is rampant. Could Diesel be featured in these tapes? And if so, what might they reveal?
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
Diesel has reportedly told those closest to him that he had no idea how wild these events would get and that he was caught off guard by the environment. However, many are questioning this explanation. After all, rumors about Diddy's party have been floating around Hollywood for years. How could someone like Vin Diesel, a seasoned Hollywood veteran, not know what he was walking into? And more importantly, why would he have attended?
Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in.
It's this mounting pressure that insiders believe drove Diesel to make the decision to leave the country. Whether or not there's any truth to the rumors that Diesel is featured in the tapes, the fear of what might come out has clearly pushed him to drastic measures. Several reports indicate that the actor quietly left the U.S. within days of Diddy's arrest, and he hasn't been spotted since. There are unconfirmed reports that Diesel is now hiding out in a remote location, possibly in Europe, waiting for the dust to settle. His representatives have remained silent, declining to comment on his whereabouts or the ongoing investigation. This radio silence has only fueled speculation that Diesel's flight is directly tied to the Diddy scandal.
Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
And Vin Diesel's legal troubles don't just stem from rumors about Diddy's scandalous parties. He's also been dealing with serious allegations of his own.
Now, moving on to the world of showbiz, Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel has been accused of sexual battery by his former assistant while working with him in 2010.
In late 2023, a former assistant named Asa Jonasson filed a misconduct lawsuit against Diesel, accusing him of inappropriate behavior that allegedly took place during the filming of Fast 5 back in 2010. Jonasson claims that Diesel forcibly pulled her onto a bed, groped her, and made inappropriate advances while they were in a hotel room in Atlanta. According to the lawsuit, she was fired shortly after the incident, which she believes was retaliation for rejecting Diesel's advances. The lawsuit paints a troubling picture of Diesel's behavior behind closed doors and raises questions about the actor's conduct on set.
Actor Vin Diesel, best known for his roles in the movie franchise Fast and Furious, is being sued for alleged battery.
Diesel has denied all the allegations, with his legal team calling the claims outrageous and without merit. In a public statement, Diesel's attorney Brian Friedman said, "Let me be very clear. Vin Diesel categorically denies this claim in its entirety. This is the first he has ever heard about this more than 13-year-old claim made by a purportedly 9-day employee. There is clear evidence which completely refutes these outlandish allegations." Diesel's camp has also hinted that Jonasson's accusations are part of a broader attempt to exploit the current wave of Hollywood scandals for financial gain. They filed a motion to dismiss the case, arguing that the claims are baseless and that Jonasson has ulterior motives in coming forward so many years after the alleged incident. As of now, the case is still pending, and Diesel is fighting to clear his name. His legal team has pushed back against Jonasson's claims by highlighting the lack of immediate reports or complaints at the time of the alleged incident. However, the timing of these accusations, coinciding with other high-profile lawsuits in Hollywood, has intensified the scrutiny around Diesel's public image. For Diesel, the stakes are incredibly high. If this lawsuit moves forward and more details emerge, it could further damage his reputation, already under fire from the ongoing Diddy investigation.
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
Diddy is not one to sit idly by, so he made 4 decisions while in jail. The hip-hop police had already warned the NYPD. First, he switched his legal team. He hired a new legal team at $1,500 an hour, hoping to secure bail with this move, which seemed necessary, especially after his previous lawyer's blunders. Second, he decided to declare bankruptcy. Derek Parker, known as the hip-hop police, was also investigating Diddy, and he discovered that Diddy's assets were plummeting, having already warned the NYPD that if Diddy filed for bankruptcy, the bankruptcy court could halt current lawsuits until the bankruptcy case was resolved, and any potential damages might be dismissed. Third, Diddy understood the federal officials' stance. He knew they wanted to expose everyone's scandals, so he slowly released information to buy himself some time. Rumors suggested that Jay-Z and Beyonce were already on the federal investigation list. Fourth, he gathered his accomplices. This point hinged on the third. As Diddy wasn't the only one who should be jailed, he had too many accomplices, so he chose to compile a list of the guilty, while federal authorities slowly released information, which could help him delay proceedings for a long time.
What I heard is there is a tape involving Kevin, Diddy, and more unnamed people in the room. There's certain words I cannot say, so we'll just do this. I'm not hearing anything about Kevin doing anything with a minor. I'm not hearing Kevin doing anything with... I'm not hearing anything about drugs. But allegedly the tape exists. There are more tapes, and they are in the hands of people who don't really have anything to lose and are trying to make money. In my opinion, I have no opinion. I can only bring you guys what I heard. And what I heard, allegedly, was Kevin was in this tape. There were multiple other people in the room, women, and there were intimate moments with Diddy.
For them to take 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it's like that they did not leave one. They left people there, but they ain't leave not one bottle. Nobody needed no baby oil. So my whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby oil. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that GHB.
What's that?
I think it's gamma hydrox. I looked it up, bro. Let me see. See if I can find it. I know this is just showing everything like that, but oh no. Let me. Yo, somebody tap dance or sing or do something, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing this. Oh, here it go right here. It's gamma hydroxy butyric. What is its effect on the body? It's a euphoria, drowsiness, decreased anxiety, and memory impairment. It works on the nervous system and gives you this feeling of euphoria. So they take that and rubbed it on her, and you forget who you are, what you're doing. It can also give you memory loss, drowsiness. And that's under the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration.gov.
You know what also came out?
What's that?
Is that Diddy is part owner of Twitter.
Absolutely. There's spooky things going on in the world right now, man. The purchase for Twitter was $44 billion. Majority of it was in a loan. And then, you know, he's a serial entrepreneur. Why that information, why they want to make that public, I don't know. You feel me? That I don't know why they want to make that information public. There's definitely an agenda against Elon Musk, because you know Elon is giving Donald Trump $45 million a month for his election campaign. So there are a group of people who want Elon to look bad. He single-handedly saves free speech in America from censorship by purchasing Twitter and renaming it X. Everything else is completely censored.
Mark Zuckerberg just put out a letter today admitting that the Biden-Harris administration pressured Facebook to censor Americans. Facebook throttled the Hunter Biden laptop story.
That just gave me the chills right now, because they going through this great a lens where everything is compromised. Google already got sued for listening to everybody's conversations on their phone and then using that to target ads to them, and had class action lawsuits about this. Nobody's saying anything about it. Zuckerberg says he regrets caving to White House pressure on content because Russia, North Korea, China, they had an active campaign online to sway the election, to the point where they had bot accounts arguing with each other and inciting social unrest. How else can you combat that without pressuring the oligarchs in this country, the billionaires, to cave to governmental pressure or risk getting sanctioned? Spooky. So basically what that says is, without Elon purchasing X, free speech would have ended. And that's not concerning to nobody. We just gonna trust what's going on. How strong is China's military? Do we just believe what they say, that it's trash? The small guy don't find out till he getting shitted on. Like I always say, if people knew what I knew, you wouldn't sleep well at night, because I don't. I'm pressing the issue because, bro, if there's some sort of attack in any form or fashion, every person I ask say, well, I'm just going to trust the government, which I'm not saying is wrong. It's been safe to trust them before. But here's the thing. People is going out their way to edit. They forcing billionaires to bend the knee. The man say he regret caving to them. That's crazy. Now they want to make Elon look bad by, oh, he's supporting the diddler. Because he accepted some money for an investment to try to save free speech. Come on, man. Dangerous time.
Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s. And one day, Asner, Kushner, Diddy and myself went to a Nets game and we met Jay-Z. I've never been a Jay-Z fan, you know, like some of his music, the whole 9 yards. But when we went over to the, I think that was Prudential Center in Newark, and him and Puff met up, it was strange to me. Because I remember what Puff was trying to do. And then both of them, they was talking about something amongst each other, amongst all of us, and laughing and joking with each other. Then over the years, I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact, they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is, and was, rambunctious, just out with it.
And this is the reason why P. Diddy will be arrested. I want you to hear me. Sean Combs will be arrested. For the past 10 years, since 2013, the FBI has been investigating Sean Puffy Combs and the Sean John Corporation. You didn't know that. So the gang will be testifying before the FBI. Keithy D is being, exploited by the FBI for good reason. And I am told, here are the following names. Oprah Winfrey is exposed by the rapper Mace. The rapper Mace said recently to the FBI that the mother of Sean Combs actually owns his Mogul Corporation, his music, and the Sean John brand. It's not in Sean Combs, his name, it's in the name of the mother of Sean Puffy Combs. Tupac was assassinated with the backing of the Central Intelligence Agent, oh, this gets deeper, Pastor Jody, by the help of the CIA and including a rogue element of the LAPD. I got to be careful. Okay, the Ramparts Division had orchestrated an assassination by placing Tupac on the passenger side, where his passenger window was the only window in the car that was not bulletproof. Guess who's coming out and exposing P. Diddy from prison? Suge Knight. Suge Knight, his handler is the Central Intelligence Agency. Suge Knight was in the driver's seat, but his window was bulletproof. In the back seat of the car was one of the daughters of Quincy Jones that Tupac was dating at the time. One of the daughters of Quincy Jones, both of her passenger windows in the back seat were bulletproof. So the Central Intelligence Agency, the Ramparts Division of LAPD, I have to be careful, including a
Diddy's list of accomplices to be revealed in a new lawsuit, okay? In a new lawsuit. So in this story, this lawyer comes out and just drops the bomb on everybody. Attorney Tony Busby revealed that a list of Sean Diddy Combs' alleged accomplices will be released in a new wave of lawsuits involving 120 victims. He promised the names will shock you. The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there are a lot of names, he emphasized. We're going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. The lawsuit covering incidents dating back to 1991 involving alleged of sexual abuse, many related to Combs at his infamous white parties events, allegedly involving drugs. Busby plans to file cases across several states, stating we will leave no stone unturned to find all potentially liable parties. Combs currently detained after being denied bail twice, has emphatically and categorically denied the claims, calling them false and defamatory. Even his lawyer gets up, Diddy's lawyer, and says the reason why he's got 1,000 baby oils is because, you know, when you go to Costco and there's discounts, that's what he was doing, and people are supposed to believe
Save that money, Diddy. You got to do what
exactly
you got to do.
we all do that. We all go buy 1,000 bottles of baby. Go ahead,
I got
Rob.
3 in my
Is this
bag
the one,
right
Rob?
now.
Go ahead, Rob.
Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us.
Stop it.
With people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs.
Did you hear those numbers, by the way? We had 3,000 something calls. After vetting, we now have 120 sources. So meaning,
somebody walked in the
even
room
the lawyer
and was like, my eyes.
90% were lying, looking for a payday.
Well, that's not what he said.
Let's not dismiss
but the
that.
120 he's taking could have text messages, videos, or validating evidence so that there's really a case. If you went there and you were partying and you got drunk and something happened to you and you don't have physical evidence, you didn't have you didn't have a rape examination, then you don't have a case. You only have a terrible memory and you shouldn't have been there. And by the way, and a lot of those people are victims too, but they have nothing that they can present. The 120 that this guy goes, he's usually as they say, has the evidence stacked up to make it a compelling case. Because remember, the judge will also filter these in saying, okay, tell me about number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And if the evidence isn't there, they get tossed, because that's what you hear the counts go down. That's how Trump, got his cases reduced in New York, where a fair-minded judge, in federal court finally said, this is a freaking mess. There's nothing here. Goodbye.
Let me tell you how I learned about Diddy. I was like, let me do some research right here. And I stumble upon this amazing panel interview on Piers Morgan with none other than our angry patriot, Vinny Oshana, doing his thing. And they're having this conversation with yesterday, I believe, is what it was.
No, I did it last week.
Okay, you're that famous. I can't keep in track with you these days, whenever it was. But they said, there's a difference between a Diddy party and then a after dark Diddy party.
Yeah.
And then a after dark Diddy party freak off.
Yeah.
Because I've said it, I've been to a Diddy party, I
can't wait to see the videos.
No,
can't
listen,
wait.
in Miami, there's Star Island, there's Hibiscus Island, there's Palm Island. You get invited to these things, these parties. Dude, 300 people are in line to try to get into these parties. But there's a big difference between getting into the island, getting into the house, and then going upstairs to the freak off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay outside.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on upstairs in the basement with the cameras? What's going on? Vinny, what happened with all this lotion? What's going on with all this?
Well, first of all, you know, the fact that Pat made a great point that even Costco is like, yo, we don't sell baby oil in bulk.
We ran out.
Which gets to the point where people now were asking, by the way, that feds, whatever, let's see how they investigate it, what was actually in those bottles? Because it could have been drug. Bro, you think it's just clear liquid. It could be roofie. It could be whatever.
Nobody's drinking the bottle.
No, I'm saying, how do you know what the hell was in there? But my point is, so Jaguar Wright was on Piers. I'm happy that you brought it up. Yeah. By the way, she said she was one of these sex workers. She was a dominatrix. And she said about those freak-off parties that she claimed that sex workers were had hidden cameras on their persons, at them, on their bras, on their underwear, on their stuff, and there was disturbing satanic rituals. And me and you know somebody, Adam. I'm not gonna say names from a guy from Hollywood, but according to her, she said young girls were stuffed into suitcases, Pat, and later discarded in freaking alleyways. This is how disgusting these people were. And she also implicated Jay-Z, saying that he had hundreds of victims ready to come forward, connecting him to a sinister web that ties together Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein. And she claims that Diddy was a product. She said this, a product of the mogul Clive Davis and Lucien Grange, who taught him everything he knows. And Pat, we were corroborated with that story with Suge Knight. It's bad. And when you hear 9-year-olds, this is a really long clip.
Who's this,
oh, no, this is a short one. This is a short one.
This is them talking about the suitcases.
Who is this? This is Jaguar Wright.
And she is who?
3 music company executives who resigned immediately after the FBI listened to Diddy's recordings. First, Kevin Liles. As a veteran in the hip-hop music industry, Kevin Liles has been outspokenly defending the numerous accusations against Diddy since joining Warner in 2004. However, immediately after Diddy was arrested, he submitted a resignation letter to the company and announced his resignation as the chairman and CEO of Warner's 300 Elektra Entertainment. The occurrence of these series of events is so closely spaced that people can't help but ponder the connections and mysteries. Second, Randy Goodman. Randy Goodman is the CEO of Sony Music and was originally planning to retire at the end of this year. But now he has retired early in September. This behavior is really strange. You should know that September is the period when the Diddy incident is fermenting. What is the reason that makes Randy Goodman make the decision to retire early? Third, Kobayashi. Japan's Warner is the world's second largest music market after the United States. For more than a decade in the past, Kobayashi has been leading the development of Warner Music in Japan. However, it is remarkable that after the incident of Diddy's arrest, he resolutely chose to step down as the president and CEO of Warner Music Japan. The reason for this is self-evident.
And Rihanna ain't innocent. Because she was in there giving that nigga a blowjob in the coat closet when Chris Brown came in. He said, bitch, you always fucking sucking something. Then he said, I'm fucking done with you. And he stormed out of Clive Davis's house, got into his very expensive car, and Rihanna chased after him. She gets in the car and started fighting on him because he embarrassed her for calling her a dick-sucking whore and saying in front of everybody that she gave him the herpes at Clive Davis's house the night before the fucking Grammys. She in the car trying to fuck him up. They're speeding on the Pacific Coast Highway, and you know Pacific Coast Highway, very steep. She could have killed the both of them fighting him while he was trying to just get the fuck away from her. Because Lord knows, he couldn't get away from the herpes.
Oh.
And he hit her back. Bitch, calm down.
My.
And all of this is happening while he's doing damn near 100 miles per hour in a sports car on Pacific Coast Highway while he's still trying to register that he is beautiful Chris Brown and his dick is now trash. At 19.
My.
Because he got set up with a bitch that was fucking a pedophile who gave her herpes. And that's what happened. And people wonder why I speak up for Chris Brown. That's why. And if I'm lying, all of them can sue me, even you, Riri. Have fun at the Super Bowl.
My.
Keep your snatch to yourself.
That actually sounds more like the truth in comparison to anything I've heard about the situation.
That's what the
far.
fuck happened that night, and I know because I was at the party. It was the last Clive Davis kissed the fucking pinky ring fucking party I ever went to.
Ooh.
And then they sat there, and Jay-Z and them get on the radio, and they talk shit about that little fucking boy. And then they put together that whole fucking sham and then have him arrested on the red fucking carpet just to make sure America fucking hated him for fucking defending himself against that crazy fucking, I mean, she's sexy as shit and she's pure whore and pure pussy and she has all of my respect when it comes to the whore game.
Ooh.
But you ruined fucking Chris Brown's life and you knew you ruined his life and the only reason you did it was because your pimp Jay-Z told you to. So that he could cover up the fact that he started fucking you at 14 when he was damn near 30 years old. No, he was 30 years old. Like I said, R. Kelly should not be in jail by himself.
Ooh.
They ruined that young man's life. Chris Brown is brilliant. And I want everybody to leave him the fuck alone. Sores on his dick at 19 and he was Chris Brown?
That's why his dick looked like that. I knew it was something. I was like, girl, ever since I seen the dick, I was like, girl, I want none of that. I want none of that, girl. I don't even like Chris no more.
Gave him the Jay-Z herpes.
Girl, I knew something was wrong with that dick. That dick looked all out of sync, girl. I was like, oh, no.
That beautiful young man, and they ruined him.
That's why he's so fucking angry all the time.
He should be fucking angry. Shit, if I was Rihanna, I'd have choked the shit out. If I was him, I'd have choked the shit out that bitch too. You give me herpes and then I come to confront you and you got another dick in your mouth?
My.
If people only fucking knew the kind of shit Sean Carter has been doing behind the scenes for decades. If people only knew that Rihanna's father was right down the hall when she was in the conference room fucking Jay-Z for that $500,000 fucking deal and he got that check cut.
An A-list male celebrity who is allegedly in an intimate tape with Diddy is reportedly horrified that the video is being shopped around to media outlets. One source connected to the celebrity stated that it's a triggering situation for him and he feels a sense of betrayal. It's causing a lot of issues. It brings up some really disturbing and bad memories, said the source. The footage shows a man who reportedly appears to be Combs being intimate with a younger male who appears to be the A-lister. Both of their faces are clearly visible in the footage. The insider said the situation is a complete nightmare. He feels like he was victimized years ago and is now being victimized yet again. If this footage gets out, it will follow him for life. It will be on the internet forever, the source added. A second source stated the celebrity is attempting to ignore the reports and is just praying that it all goes away. It is unclear if the A-lister was a minor at the time or if he was an adult. Media outlets have reportedly been approached with the tape, but many have declined due to difficulties in verifying its authenticity and concerns regarding the younger celebrity's age at the time of the recording.
So Steve Harvey really just dropped everything and fled from the country with his tail between his legs? Because listen, the streets are talking and they're saying Steve pimped out his daughter Lori to Diddy as payment for some favors that Diddy granted him. Now apparently Steve has been Diddy's henchman for a long time, helping him organize freak-offs and clean up after anything goes wrong. In exchange, Diddy gives Steve the invitation to the most exclusive Hollywood clubs. However, when Steve felt like he was losing Diddy, he allegedly put his daughter Lori to work and basically offered her up to Diddy. And there's supposed freak-off footage of Diddy and Lori that even the feds don't have yet. Now that Diddy is facing a very long time in prison, he's pulling out all the stops to get out, exposing every single person who ever contributed to his freak-offs. And Steve Harvey is now waiting around to find out if he's going down with Diddy's sinking ship. But does Diddy really have FL footage of Lori Harvey? And what was Steve's role in all this? Let's break it down. So Diddy is kind of known at this point for catching them young, if you know what I mean. So it's not always surprising every time he pops up with a new girlfriend girlfriend or side piece that's decades younger than him. However, when pictures of Diddy and Lori Harvey started going viral, the internet was shook, and not just because of the age gap. What really had jaws dropping to the ground was the fact that Lori was Steve Harvey's daughter. I mean, of all people, you would think Steve Harvey would do everything he could to prevent his daughter from getting into certain circles. Even though, well, she's an adult and she can date whoever she likes, but Diddy? Come on now. And what made it even creepier was the fact that shortly before she was spotted with Diddy.
So she was able to escape eventually and ran out into the streets yelling and screaming, and a neighbor heard her because this happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood, if you will.
So there's a witness?
Yes, we have a witness. We also have a police report. As she's running out the house yelling, a neighbor saw her and invited her into the home.
Okay.
And it's the neighbor who then called the police, and the police did come out at that time. They also stated that they heard cars screeching, and the neighbor went outside and saw a black SUV leaving the premises very quickly. And by the time the police arrived, of course, he was no longer there.
Well, was the neighbor able to identify who it was?
The neighbor wasn't, only that they saw the car leaving, and
Okay.
they only described the truck. They could not tell who was inside, but she told the neighbor at the time who it was and why they were leaving so abruptly.
However, even after making a police report, the police didn't do anything about it. And that's because Diddy had obviously paid them off. This was something he did to a lot of his victims, and that's why it took somebody as famous as Cassie to file a lawsuit before he was finally incriminated.
And due to the high-profile nature that it was Mr. Combs who did this, she was afraid for her life. She was concerned that if she was to come forward and say something, that no one would believe her, because we're talking about 2018 when Mr. Combs was still pretty much at the height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure. So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying.
In the police report?
I don't think so. Based on what she said, she really felt that the police were trying to bury this and disregard her claims and not really investigate, which is another reason why a lot of victims don't report these things to the police. We have to address the elephant in the room is that we have victims, especially women, who go to the police, who are typically men, who don't actually investigate these things. They victim blame, they victim shame, and women don't feel safe or even protected to even make these claims because they don't think they'll be taken seriously, nor will their claims be investigated.
The FBI discovered a USB flash drive containing secret recordings of Diddy's parties this morning, and the footage left everyone in shock. In the early hours of the day, agents received a tip-off claiming that a device containing secret recordings of his parties was located at the rapper's mansion. The agents immediately proceeded to Diddy's mansion, where they were met by his team, who appeared extremely nervous. They tried everything to prevent the agents from searching the mansion, but their efforts were in vain. Upon entering the rapper's room, they couldn't find any clues leading to the device. However, when one agent stepped on a specific part of the floor, they heard a hollow sound. Curious, the agents grabbed tools and broke through the floor. What they found was shocking: a black safe with a password. After 10 minutes of attempts, they finally managed to open the safe and discovered an apparently ordinary but immaculate notebook. When they turned it on, it requested a password for access. The cybersecurity specialists were able to crack the password in a matter of minutes. Once the content was displayed, the atmosphere in the room turned tense. The agents exchanged alarmed glances, realizing they had stumbled upon something far worse than they had expected. What they saw was terrifying. Comment on the secret recordings in Part 2 of this case.
I told y'all Diddy was a distraction. That doesn't mean he's innocent. I thought it was just for the election. It's bigger than that. Now you got the port workers striking. And part of the reason they striking is they getting tired of transporting trafficked slaves. And so they need Diddy's allegations to distract us from the real trafficking allegation. The Amazon workers are striking. I told you this is the age of revolution. Y'all didn't want to listen to me. Pluto is going into Aquarius. The next 16 years will be drama for your mama. I don't care where you live. The universal order is demanding revolutionary chaos for the next 16 years. What are black people going to do about that? We going to keep on being distracted with social media, or we going to get up and try to fight for our liberation politically, economically, socially, spiritually, culturally? This eclipse right here is opening the solar vortex. Harriet Tubman's full moon is opening the solar vortex. Full moon on October the 17th is opening the revolutionary vortex. You got 16 years of revolution. We're going to lose people we love, God forbid. There's going to be accidents. There's going to be chaos. There's going to be drama because Orisha Oya got to clean up the old to make way for the new. It means anything that does not serve divine order will be exposed or destroyed. That's what it means. Anything from anyone, institutions, you're going to see black churches get exposed, white churches get exposed, politicians, celebrities, community leaders, activists, traffickers, scammers, you name it, brothers and sisters. Husbands cheating on their wives will be exposed. Women cheating on their husbands will be exposed. It's the time of the storm.
In a field like hip hop, which is very
it's
homophobic.
cool. It's the greatest. It's the greatest gay market in the world.
Do you think that there'll ever be an out of the closet gay rapper?
Owned. The hip hop community is most likely owned by gay. To be honest with
but
you,
do you think there'll be an
they're
out
owned
of the
by gay.
closet?
I happen to think there's a gay mafia in hip hop.
Right.
Not rappers. You know, the editorial presidents of magazines.
Sure.
The PDs at radio stations, the people who give you award at award shows. This is a fucking gay mafia, my man. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? They are in power.
It looks like Steve Harvey just got roped into Diddy's mess because the streets are saying that he was allegedly caught on tape at Diddy's freak-offs getting all freaky with all them celebrities. Fans have been side-eyeing Steve's close relationship with Diddy for a hot minute now, especially after rumors started claiming that he allegedly pimped his daughter, Lori, to Diddy after Kim Porter passed. But now it looks like not only was Lori involved with Diddy, but Steve could have been right there with her. Child, the streets were not lying when they said that many celebs were going to go down with Diddy, and they are saying that Steve Harvey is in a panic mode right now because of this drama. So did Steve really use Lori to get to Diddy? Let's break this down. Steve Harvey's weird friendship with Diddy has come under scrutiny in the past, way before we knew the freaky things that Diddy liked to get into. Fans started feeling a type of way about Steve and Diddy's friendship when his daughter Lori got with Diddy, even though he's 27 years older than she is. I mean, Lori was younger than Diddy's sons Justin and Quincy, but for some reason, he went after Lori, who was his friend's daughter. That was creepy on so many levels, and fans expected Steve and Marjorie to step in and put an end to the relationship. But that never happened because they completely approved of the relationship. Not
the BBCs and him making male prostitutes smash his girl. Like, what happened, man? Like, I'm sure he was a normal dude at first. Like, what made him get into all this weirdo stuff?
Bro, one individual is not here to defend himself, and that's Andre Harrell. Russell Simmons was one of his mentors too. What is Russell Simmons going through? He's going through women saying that he was abusive, women saying that they raped him, women saying that he drugged them. If you learn things like that from the people that you're around, the people that you hold high regards to, then you're going to become what they were. And with the fact that you taking drugs and everything now, it'll go rapid on you. And that's what happened to him, bro. Yo, I seen Puff smoke cigarettes, smoke weed on camera, and that wasn't the same dude that I knew. So I'm looking at this dude like, yo, all he did was go to the third to the fourth power with this shit.
You know how many times I've tried to go to the authorities, including the feds, and report all of this? And they laughed me out the building.
What is your opinion about the Melendez brothers? Do you think they should be out?
How you doing, Mr. Davis?
How are you?
Good.
Do you have any opinions about Mr. Melendez?
American Music Awards. Are you going to be there? The AMAs, American Music Awards. Mr. Davis, what if we have? Oops, sorry. Watch yourself. If we have one question, Mr. Davis, about Sean Puffy Combs, do you have anything to say about that situation?
No.
Nothing. Anything to say about Puffy?
Do you support him?
Anything to say about Puffy at all?
You're a savage.
How was dinner, Miss Haskell? Well, you know, the big story in town is the Puffy Combs story. Did you guys talk about it at all, or
No, actually.
no? I didn't think so. Do you know why Hollywood is so silent on the issue?
I have no idea.
No? Okay. It's tough to get reactions because, you know, typically as a journalist, this is a very big scandal. You know it is.
I know it's a very big scandal, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no. I understand.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, no, I know. I understand. All right. Well, you take care, Miss Haskell. He almost talked. He almost talked. He had a handler with him who told him right before you saw it not to talk. We tried. We tried.
Essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow. Can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
this
I can't
tape.
explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it? Or
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video. And I can tell the video is pornographic in nature.
Oh my. All right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, did he? And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes. This was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video. So it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping, like they're being surreptitiously recorded it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I wanted to ask you about the police report we talked about, but when your client came out, obviously the neighbor knew. Did she talk to her family? Did she talk to her friends? Did she have another lawyer? Let's go back to your client.
So at the time, as most rape victims are, they feel a lot of shame.
Absolutely.
And they don't want to vocalize what happened to them because then it makes it real. So they kind of internalize it and get over it.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the high profile nature that it was Mr. Combs who did this, she was afraid for her life. She was concerned that if she was to come forward and say something, that no one would believe her, because we're talking about 2018 when Mr. Combs was still pretty much at the height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying Mr. Combs' name. So she didn't feel any confidence that revealing his name would have done anything.
Sure, sure. I mean, but there's a police report.
Yeah.
I mean, that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, you know, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the criminal complaint that was made. I'll attach the number so everyone can see that this is a real number and can go to the police department there and request their own copy of that police report that was made back in 2018.
Well, that's going to be a huge deal when it happens, obviously, so we want to follow up on that. Did Mr. Combs have any reaction? Do you know if he was interviewed? I mean, he was named in the police report?
I don't think so. Based on what she said, she really felt that the police were trying to bury this and disregard her claims and not really investigate, which is another reason why a lot of victims don't report these things to the police. We have to address the elephant in the room is that we have victims, especially women, who go to the police, who are typically men, who don't actually investigate these things. They victim blame, they victim shame, and women don't feel safe or even protected to even make these claims because they don't think they'll be taken seriously, nor will their claims be investigated.
Right. Well, your client should be proud of herself for filing that claim and making that call and going for help. Because that's a huge deal. And of course, these are allegations. We want to say that. What was it like for you when you got this phone call, when you realized what you were going to be stepping into?
After talking to her, I just wanted to protect her. I just wanted to help her. She seemed as somebody very broken by this experience. And it was very concerning for me to hear her saying these things and expressing this very deep trauma associated with what happened to her. I just wanted to make sure that, number one, she was heard and we can get her voice to the masses, and maybe Mr. Combs will actually, like right now we're starting to see, will actually face some type of consequences for what he's done.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.